This is our 16%. So what we're going to do, you guys are going to go ahead and open the line. So y'all go ahead and keep it moving. So you can get kind of settled in. And then we'll kick the thing off, and Matt's going to do prayer for us. So y'all just go ahead and start getting your food. Come on, I'll get things kicked off, and we'll try to get settled down and have the food. So go ahead and help yourself. And this is right there. PJC for sponsoring this event. It's great. All our events have been really well. We're close to, I know we probably got 75. I think we've got quite 100 people here. But all the events have been very well attended, so the board is doing a great job. If everybody from the Hunt County Union Board committee would stand up, just stand up, be recognized. So if any of y'all are interested in joining the board, there you go. Greg's already been working. All we do, we are not politically affiliated with any side of the house, okay? All we do is help communicate important issues related to economic development in Hunt County. No political affiliations, no PACs, none of those. All we do is put on events like this for Hunt County EPA. It is absolutely the easiest community service thing I've ever done, and now the only thing I do in community service, because it's so awesome. Our board is so easy to work with, they're amazing. And if you do want to go there too, let us know. We're working on our website. You can go there now. I'm not sure if it's working, but it's huntcountyeda.com, and you can see some of the events coming up. Our next event that's coming up is our 17th event. It's going to be a South Hunt County City Update. We've done Greenville. We just did Caddo about a year ago. Went very, very well. Got an update on everything that's going on in Caddo. So basically what we're trying to do is do city updates of all the different cities. And next up, we're doing, so it's going to include Quinlan, Lone Oak, West Milwaukee, and maybe Union Valley if they've got anybody there. So they're going to do presentations of that whole area and what's going on. And that's going to be, right now it's October the 2nd at 11:31. We pretty much do all the events from 11:31, but it's October the 2nd. And it's going to be hosted at the Lone Oak Civic Center in Lone Oak. So it'll be there in the right place. So it'll be really good. I think we'll have a good turnout. I think Brother Greg over there is going to try to convince the EDA group to make sure that we get the barbecue out there. Right? You're going to work that right, Greg? Duncan barbecue. I want to. Hopefully they can pull that off. That'll be beautiful. So with that, that's all I really have to say about Hunt County EDA. Our brother Graham Sweeney is going to come and do the blessings for today. And then Dr. Vincent is going to come up and do his presentation with the goal being, he's going to try to hopefully maybe get done around 12:45. But he's going to have staff here for anybody that wants to take a tour after he gets through talking. So if y'all want to take a look at the facility, he'll talk more about that as far as he can take you around and look at some of the different rooms and things like that they build here. We're extremely blessed to have this in Greenville, Texas. So thank you so much for everything y'all done with you and Pam coming in. It's been a beautiful thing. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Grant. Graham, just turn it over to Dr. Benson.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, all the synergy occurring in this room, the organizations, the institutions, and we're so blessed in our community, in this county, and extended out of this county, of the blessings that we have. We ask that you be with us today. We're thankful for the food that we've had, and we ask you to continue to be with us as we move forward in this project and this presentation. It's in your name we do pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Brother Graham.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. We are really excited to welcome you here to our new facility in Pierce Junior College. If I haven't had a chance to meet you, I'm Steve Benson, and so I don't know how long I can say I'm the new president, but I'm just going to use it as long as I can. So I've been here not quite a year yet. June 1st is when I started. A little bit about me. Before coming here, I was in Waco, Texas. I was the vice president for finance and administration at McLennan Community College. I was there for about 7 years, and I oversaw all the financial areas, but also enrollment management and marketing, and a lot of those areas were under me as well, which is a little abnormal for somebody who's a finance guy, but I really like having those departments as well. And then before that, I was in Florida at Lake City Community College, which became Florida Gateway College. And then home for me is West Virginia. So I'm a little far from where I originally started. I was at a 4-year school in West Virginia for about 11 years, and then a community college. As soon as I moved into the community college realm, I fell in love with the mission of community colleges, and I've never wanted to go back. So anyway, that's a little bit about me. One day, I really wasn't thinking that I was wanting to be a community college president. Some presidents that I'd worked for had told me over the years, you know, you're going to be a community college president someday, and I just kind of blew it off. And I would regularly get advertisements for president positions, and I would usually just delete them. I wouldn't even read them. And one came across my email one day, and it was for PJC College for the presidency. And the president at McLennan was a vice president at PJC and lived in Paris. And she had always talked about how much she loved living in that community, and she loved PJC and all the great things. And so it caught my attention. I didn't delete it right away, and I read it, and I closed it, and then I read it again, and I closed it, and I read it again probably about 10 times. It kept drawing me back to reading, which had not ever happened. And after a couple days, I got the nerve to ask my wife what she thought about possibly moving. We had a daughter who was a senior in high school, and we had always said we weren't going to move until she graduated. And so she graduated in May, and I started in June. So I kept to what I said I would do. But she was all for it, and we drove up to Paris, and we stopped in Greenville, and we drove to Sulphur Springs one Saturday before I even applied, just to see what we thought. Did it feel like a place we could live? We loved all the communities, and so I applied for the job, and here I am. So before I get started with the presentation, we have several PJC staff in the room. I'd like for them to stand up and introduce themselves so you know who else is in the room. They all have critical roles, and if I get stuck by a question, they're going to probably have to help me. So if the back table, if you all would introduce yourself.
So my name is Leah Dykes. I will back Dr. Benson up and say you can still say you're new as long as you're within the year. So I'm new here. I started at PJC in October in a newly formed role, the coordinator of business and industry training. So some of you have seen me out and about at either industry tours. We had a industry and education roundtable back in January. So that's my goal, is to get out there, bring people into PJC, either the Greenville campus, the Paris campus, or the Sulphur Springs Center. So if you have any questions about training or things that we could do for you as an industry or a business, please reach out. I have my business card, or we can chat after the event. So.
Hi everyone, I'm Bailey McCoy. I'm the Executive Director of Advancement and Marketing at PJC. I've been with the college for about 5 years and was formerly at East Texas A&M.
Welcome everybody. I'm Jody Toddler. I'm the director of the Greenville campus. I've only been here about 2.5 years. I'm also formerly with ET, about 30-something years. So welcome to here. I facilitate both buildings and programs at this location here.
So I'm Michael Flatt. I'm the Director of Continuing Education at Paris Junior College. I've been there since January of 2024.
One of the other things that drew me to the college was as soon as I came for my interview, I knew it was someplace I wanted to be because of the people. We had great employees at the college. They worked hard every day because student success is what we're all about. So it's very clear why everybody's at the college. I have some business cards on the front table. If you want to grab one on your way out, feel free to email me. So my presentation I'm going to go through, if you have a question, just raise your hand. This can be kind of informal. But I'm going to kind of tell you some of the things that we have going on right now and some of the things that we have in the future. So if you didn't know, this is our 100th anniversary year. So we have had a lot of activities going on this year. It seemed like it was one of my first days here, but I think it was actually several weeks that I was here. But one of the first things was I was put in front of a group of people to kick off our 100th anniversary. So I'm the newest guy in the room, and I'm helping the college celebrate 100 years. But we've had a lot of activities throughout the year, and Bailey's been in charge of all these events that we've been doing. So it's been a really fun year. So the biggest thing that we have going on right now is next weekend is our gala, and I'm not sure that we have tickets left, but you could talk to Bailey if you are really dying to come. But we would love to have as many people as possible there, and we're going to celebrate. And that will be the final celebration for our 100th anniversary. It's a 1920s theme, and so people are going to come dressed in their 1920s outfits, and so I think it'll be a really fun time. So a little bit, if this may be a refresher for some people, it may be brand new for some people, but if you aren't aware, the service area for Paris Junior College is a really large area. So we have all of Delta County, we have part of Fannin, we have part of Hopkins, almost all of Hunt County, all of Lamar, and part of Red River. So we have a really large area. One of my goals when I first got here was to meet all of the ISD superintendents, and that's 28 superintendents. And so I didn't get out to see all of them, but I got out to see a lot of them, and I had some calls with some of them as well. But we have great relationships, and I'll talk about the credit here in a little bit. But we have a really large area that we serve. So we have 3 main locations, Paris, we have our center here in Greenville, and then we have Sulphur Springs. So we have 3 centers that we serve students. So our funding at the college comes from several different sources. So property taxes, our taxing district for the college is Lamar County. So we collect 11% of our revenue comes from just property taxes. Tuition and fees is $11.4 million, state appropriations $11.9 million, and then other income is $11 million. So our budget's about $40 million a year, and so we make a pretty big impact economically in the communities that we're in. I'll talk a little bit about our funding from the state a little bit later. So one thing that we have not had at the college real consistently is a whole team of leaders. We've had vice presidents in and out, and so we have a full team of leaders right now. So we have 5 vice presidents. So Rob Stanley is our vice president for academic instruction. Keitha Carlton is our business services VP. Dr. Michael Ernie is workforce education. Some of you may know Dr. Ernie because he's out and about in the community a little more than the rest of us. Dr. Lisa Elliott's over student services, and Sebastian Barron is over technology. So we have a great team that's leading the college. A major focus that we're working on right now is a strategic plan for the future. So we don't have a strategic plan right now, so we are working on what does the college look like in the next 10 years. So really planning out a vision for the future. So there are several phases of this work that we're going through right now. So the second phase was gathering data, and we have basically completed that process. You may have filled out one of our community surveys. We did an online survey. We had pretty good participation from Hopkins County and Greenville and Hunt County for the community survey. We did listening sessions in all of our communities. Those were not especially well attended, but we did have a few people who came to one here, and we had a great discussion. And so then after we get all of that data in, we're going to really sit down and think through what does the vision community surveys, we really tried hard to get some people from each of our communities. You can see Shelley's picture up here. She did a video for us to try to help encourage people from this community to do the community survey, and we had folks from all of our other communities. We have completed one of our major focuses has been our facilities, and we have great facilities right here. The two that we have are in really good condition. If you go to Paris, you're not going to see facilities that look like this. A lot of our buildings are 80-year-old buildings because the campus is so old, and we have some real challenges there. The Sulphur Springs location is basically a big metal building, so it's not a great facility there either. So we had a company that came in and did a facility assessment of the whole campus in Paris and gave us a massive report that shows observations and scores for each of our facilities. And then the next phase is they're going to actually come in and do some master planning with us and sit down and go through what their recommendations are. And so there's a lot of work to come with that. We're going to do the same assessment of our conditions of our buildings on this campus and Sulphur Springs. And there'll be a full master plan that's developed for this facility as well, or what we're going to do in Greenville. And so we'll look at workforce data, and we'll look at what the future of Greenville and Hunt County looks like, and we will try to plan what this campus should look like. And that may mean that ultimately, hopefully, we could build more buildings, and we can offer more programs. And so I have lots of ideas in my head of what I would love to see happen all over the place, but I'm letting the process play out, and hopefully what's in my head will be the same as what's in our final document. So we have also been doing a lot of technology work. So we have old buildings in Paris. Well, that's where a lot of the infrastructure for our campus or for the college is. So a lot of things start in Paris that flow to this campus and other campuses. So we're working a lot on process improvement. We have some really good tools that we've not completely implemented. So we have manual processes. So it may take a person 2 hours to process an application for a new student, where if we could get the system working the way it needs to, it should flow straight through the system. So we're working a lot on automation and how to really use our software to its fullest. A lot of our network infrastructure on our main campus is very outdated. We're replacing the fiber underground because it is very, very old. Our phone systems we're replacing everywhere on all of our campuses. And then cybersecurity is a major concern for everybody, and it certainly is for us. Our IT director this morning when I first got to work, we have a company who helps monitor cyber incidents, and he had a call at 11 o'clock last night from the company who monitors and had a concern. He had another call from that same company at 1 a.m. this morning with a concern. So it's a major issue that we are trying to stay on top of, but for small schools like us and small businesses, it's hard to keep up with the changing times. One of our major focuses has also been marketing. When I talked with the ISD superintendents, one of the things they said right away is the word's not getting out about the great things that the college is doing. So we restructured our marketing department. We added to our marketing department. Bailey actually oversees marketing and advancement now. And so one of the things we're doing, we know our website is the first place and the most used place for getting information about the college. And if you've been to our website, it's not the easiest to find information. It is kind of an old tool, and so we are reworking our website, completely redesigning it. We immediately started doing digital advertising for prospective students. And this was our first digital advertising campaign, and it was for the semester that we're in right now. So total impressions from this digital ad. So impressions is how many opportunities that somebody could have to click on something. But we had over 3 million impressions for these ads. And the exciting thing is that 3,304 people actually clicked through an ad and went to our website. Now the unfortunate thing is our website's not great, so they may have a hard time finding what they wanted. But we got them from an ad to our website, which is a huge step for us. We also did social media campaigns, and the total impressions for that was 357,000. got through from clicking that onto our website, and then the same with Google Ads. So our enrollment this semester compared to last year at this time, we're up 6% compared to where we were last year at this time. And I think this marketing and other marketing that we're doing has really helped with that. So on the enrollment, I mentioned the marketing team, but we also have a full team of admissions and recruitment. So we have a recruiter on this campus almost all of the time now who is seeing students here and out in the schools. We have people who are doing that in all of our other counties. And we have a full team of dual credit who are out in the schools talking about our dual credit program. We have a team of strategic enrollment management that meets on a weekly basis. So this is all of the leaders and all of the areas that work with enrollment, and we meet on a regular basis and talk about initiatives for enrollment. We have several initiatives that we hope to bring to this area eventually. So we had donors in Lamar County and Red River County who wanted to fund a promise program. And so we have a promise program that we're rolling out for students there. And so our promise to those students who are graduating from high school is come to us and you're not going to have to pay anything in tuition and fees. And so a combination of their financial aid, and we will make up the rest of it. And we would love to find a source of funds to do the same thing for all of the graduates from Lee County. So that is on the list of things that we hope to do. So our dual credit program I mentioned earlier, you can see in the chart on the right, this is the number of students that we have in the schools that are in this area in dual credit. So we have 453 in 23-24 who are doing dual credit, so they're in high school taking college courses. Our board just decided this past month to reduce our dual credit tuition rate. So for our in-district tuition, it went from $50 a credit hour to $25. So in-district is Lamar County. So in-district is the people who pay taxes. And our out-of-district tuition, so for the students here in Hunt County, tuition went from $55 a credit hour to $30 a credit hour because we really want to make it accessible and affordable to everybody. And this not only, some of the schools pay for their dual credit and some of the students pay for their dual credit. So this helps the ISDs and it helps the schools. So a little bit about the future. So because we have such a large area, we're represented at the state level by multiple people. So Senator Paxton on the Senate side represents Hunt County, but then on the Senate side, Brian Hughes represents us as well for the other parts of it. So then you can see who represents us on the House side. So as a college, we are represented by the Texas Association of Community Colleges. So it's the 50 community colleges in the state as a group who they represent us to the legislature on our behalf. So as a group, we decide what our legislative priorities are, and it's not every college going to their representative asking for certain things. It's 50 colleges from all over the state with these priorities, and I'll share this with you in a minute. So this is a video that the association put together for the legislative session this year. Oh, it's the next slide. So this is one of the things that we have been talking about for the legislative session this year. So community colleges are the largest sector of higher education in the state right now. We serve 700,000 students statewide at community colleges. So we serve more at the community college level than all of the universities in the state combined. And then we graduate 125,000 people each year with degrees and certificates.
Texas community colleges are building the next generation workforce, helping more Texans land good jobs, providing employers with the skilled workers they need, and driving local and statewide economic growth into the 21st century. Our 50 community colleges are accessible, affordable, and welcoming to students from all backgrounds. We are life-changing, providing traditional students, high schoolers, and adult learners with a path to self-sufficient wages. We are economic engines, powering local communities through workforce development and job creation. We deliver value and results, ensuring every Texan has access to high-quality, affordable education that leads to meaningful outcomes. And we do this at scale, serving over 700,000 students annually. We give high schoolers a head start in college, prepare students to transfer seamlessly to four-year universities, and award credentials of value that meet the needs of Texas' booming industries. That's how we build the next generation workforce.
So the priorities that the association have for this legislative session, 2 years ago, the legislature passed a pretty groundbreaking funding mechanism for the community colleges and shifted us completely away from headcount funding. So we used to basically be funded on the number of students that was in class, not how well those students do. We are funded now on whether the students complete a degree or whether they complete a certificate and whether they hit certain benchmarks. So every student who completes 15 credit hours with us, we get a certain amount of funding for them. When they complete a certain degree, we get a certain amount of funding. If they transfer to a four-year school, we get a certain amount of funding. So it's a major shift in the way the funding has been done for community colleges. So one of the main priorities for the legislative session is a supplemental appropriation because all of the colleges outperformed what they anticipated the colleges would do in the first 2 years. So the first budget that they put together for the funding model was short a little bit, $98 million. So that was the first focus, was to get a supplemental appropriation for the additional money to fund the model that the legislature asked. The next one was to secure funding for continuing that same model. And then the additional one is, in the model right now, a student who graduates from a community college, if they transfer to a private university in the state, the college doesn't get any funding for them. So for when I was at McLennan Community College in Waco, we would have students all the time who graduated from us and would go to Baylor. We would get no funding. That student basically didn't exist because they were going to a private college. And we all agreed that that was not a good thing for the funding model. So that's one change that, so the good thing is that there are bills that are passing through to do all of these things that we have in the priority. So we look like we're having a pretty good session so far. So state enrollment, you can see in our region of the state, we, from 23 to 24, the increase in enrollment, it was 6.9%. So we have had one of the largest increases in enrollment statewide our region has. So that's a very good thing. So PJC workforce programs, these are the number of declared majors that we have in different programs. So you can kind of see what are the most popular programs that we have. So business management is at the top of the list. Nursing and emergency services, medical services, so EMS programs, welding, cybersecurity, air conditioning, refrigeration, vocational nursing. Our jewelry program is really popular. It's a world-renowned jewelry program. I mean, it's nothing for us to have people in from Rolex and all kinds of like really high-end companies because they're interested in our jewelry program. And then radiology and mechatronics. So several of these that are on this top list are what are being offered in this building. And so we know that there's a need for them in the community, and we know that they are programs that students want. So about your center right here.
Big things are happening in Greenville, Texas. Paris Junior College is proud to open the doors to its brand new Workforce Training Center, an incredible investment in the future of our community. This state-of-the-art facility is more than just a building. It's a launchpad for opportunity, a hub of innovation, and a place where careers are built from the ground up. This cutting-edge center will house some of the most in-demand workforce training programs in the region. From mechatronics to electricians, HVAC to aviation, students will now have access to hands-on, high-tech training that prepares them for immediate success in the workforce. This isn't just an investment in a building, it's an investment in people, in families, in futures. Whether you're a high school graduate looking for a career path, a professional ready for a career change, or an employer searching for skilled workers, this Workforce Training Center is here for you. Greenville, the future is bright, the opportunities are endless, And it all starts now with the new Paris Junior College Workforce Training Center. Get ready to learn, grow, and soar to new heights.
We really do think the opportunities are endless here. We hear all the time about the projected growth in the community, and we know that you're going to need to train more people. And so we really want to be a part of that. So we're really excited about this building. This was in the works before I got here. But this was a great vision for the folks who came before me to build this building. So we have 4 main programs that are going to be in this building. Mechatronics, which has already started. They're at the very end of this building. And then electrician, which will take place in this room. Our biggest problem right now is we cannot find a faculty member to teach electrician. So if anybody happens to know of anybody who could teach electrician program, I mean, we have been looking for months and months and months, and we really can't find anybody. And then air conditioning, which is the next room over, and then aviation maintenance, which is the last one on the end. We have been really fortunate to work with L3 Harris to get the programs ready for the aviation program. We have students right now who are taking classes in there. They are doing our the apprenticeship program. So we have 2 different classes. We have a pre-apprenticeship program with L3 students, and those are group credit students. And then we have the regular apprenticeship program, and those are L3 employees who are in it right now. And so they are in the class right next door right now. They started at noon, and the instructor said whenever we get finished, if you want to walk around, you're welcome to come in the class and watch what they're doing. So we're really happy and really appreciate the partnership with L3. One thing that I am really excited about, and you all are some of the first to know that we are rolling this out. Something that I realized that we needed right away was we need to somehow figure out a way to engage more with Hunt County and Hopkins County. It's hard when all of the administration is in Lamar County. One of my goals was to get down here like every week, and there has not been a week where it just is really hard to do. And it's still one of my goals, but we need to figure out a way to engage better with all the communities. And so I proposed to our Board of Regents this last month that we form boards of advisors for Hunt County and a board of advisors for Hopkins County. The board approved it unanimously. So the goal of this is to really have a board here that we can engage with. You can help us determine what the vision should be for this community, and it will be a board that meets on a quarterly basis. Myself, other members of the leadership team will be at those meetings. That group will help make recommendations that I will then take back to our Board of Regents. So they'll have officers, they will meet regularly, they'll have specific terms that they'll be. So anyway, I hope that if you happen to know somebody who might be interested in serving on one of these boards, please let me know. You can email me. We're going to have an application process that we're going to have a website where you can apply, and then we'll make recommendations to our Board of Regents. But we really think this is going to be a great way to engage with the community and get great feedback and help us plan for the future, especially as we go through the strategic planning process. There'll be some great conversations that we can have. With that, I think I'm a little quicker than I thought I would be. So I'm happy to answer questions, and you can ask questions of the folks in the back. Yes, sir.
So I noticed from the dual credit since 20 to now, it's flat now. What's the reason? Are the schools doing it themselves now for the year, or what?
That was COVID. I mean, everything dropped in 2020, and so enrollment at all the community colleges dropped during that time frame. So we've had to try to gradually increase from then.
You have, I think, less housing up in Paris, is it fully utilized, and do you have any projections of having that here, or is there even a need for student housing? How much land do you have?
Yeah, we have a lot of land here. We own all of this property. We own the next, I think the next 2 blocks this direction. And so part of what's in my head is that we may need student housing here at some point. In Paris, we have 3 dorms, 1 large one and 2 smaller dorms, and they are fully utilized right now. This year, they're at capacity. and we could definitely use more forums. I mean, one of the things we're talking about is, do we have the right athletics in Paris? Because we have full athletics, and we would love to add some more athletic teams, but we don't have housing right now to add more athletic teams. So that, I mean, we're thinking through all of that, but I can certainly see the need to have some housing here at some point. Yes, sir.
I'd just like on behalf of the city of Greenville and really, I guess, Center County, thank you for our long-term relationship with PJC. And, of course, if you don't know, we have our, audience doesn't know, we have our fire administration building, our electronic, our emergency operations center that's on the southwest corner of this property with the possibility of developing a fire academy at some point in time. And then all of your workforce solutions just help us so much impact our property. So we really appreciate our long-term relationship.
Thank you. Yeah. The fire chief and I have talked several times. One of my first thoughts was we really need a fire academy, and so we started talking about that as soon as I got here. And so I really think that in the future that will come to be. We're looking at adding a police academy also, and that may be housed in Paris, but there's a definite need for a police academy in this region as well, because they have to go out of our region to do training, ongoing training for police, and just to become a police officer to start with. Yes, ma'am.
I noticed Cooper ISD was not part of dual credit, and I know they have dual credit with Dallas Community College. Is that something that you foresee in the future?
We have had conversations with them. That was an issue from before I got here, and I don't know all the details of why they chose to go with Dallas. Now, I do know that Dallas offers their dual credit completely free for all of the schools that do that. That's part of our issue is there are other schools that offer things that are really hard for us to compete with. But we think that this makes us more competitive, and we really want to serve our high school students. We think that that's a great fit for what we do.
I think it would be more beneficial to the student to be at PJC versus Dallas. My opinion.
Absolutely. I've had multiple conversations with the superintendent there, and hopefully something can change.
Thank you.
Yep.
You may have showed it. What's the student breakdown, the main campus, Greenville versus Southern Spring?
I didn't have that in one of the slides. I think, yeah, I would say, Jody, do we have about 500 or 600 students here?
It's just over 500 students for the fall that we had here.
And I think we have about 250, 300 in Sulphur Springs, and probably about 4,000. Now, so what's a little bit misleading by that number is all of the students who are online students are all counted in the Paris number, and that's something that we need to figure out how to break out. But that's why that number is so high. All of the online students are counted.
I echo the mayor's comments, certainly more development. What we do at the last banquet was such a great thing y'all down here. We can't tell you how much we appreciate this whole thing. I do want to say we also appreciate East Texas A&M. They're in the room today. And the joint partnership, keeping our kids in Hunt County, I think is very beneficial for everybody, our employers, and everyone. We're so lucky to have both institutions in our county that help serve our children. I don't know if you wanted to recognize them and bring back.
Yeah, would you all like to stand up and introduce yourselves?
Sam Walker, East Texas State. And Commerce. Keep going. I'm not East Texas Normal College, but I was close to it. So glad to be here. It's a great partnership. We've had a great partnership with PJC since way back when I first came to ET, and don't know any reason why we wouldn't continue to do so. It's really good for us.
Sri Balula, I'm the Chief Academic Officer for East Texas A&M. Thanks for hosting us here. Thank you.
One of my first meetings was with Dr. Ruby because I wanted to meet him. I wanted to make sure we had a good relationship. And I tell students all the time, if you don't think you can start right away at a 4-year college or a university, university come to us, because the statistics show that students who start at a community college do as well or better than students who start at a university and finish at a university. So we can be a really good preparation for 2 years for them to go on to East Texas. So yeah, they are a great partner of ours.
And say welcome.
Absolutely. I tell them all the time that if they come to us for 2 years, they can go to a university for 2 years, and their degree is going to look just like somebody who paid 4 years to go to university. It doesn't say anything different.
One last question, did you expand the tax jurisdiction? I thought it was in the city limits of Harris.
Yeah, I don't know the dates of when that happened, but originally it was just the city of Paris, and then it expanded to the whole county of Lamar. So, does anybody know when that happened?
I'm curious when
What's that?
I'm curious when we might be able to expand into optics.
Well,
You
that's.
better not address that right now.
There are some advantages. Any other questions? So the facility is open for you to wander around. Our staff can be around and answer any questions that you have. And grab one of my cards and send me an email or give me a call. Happy to talk with anybody.
This video has been brought to you by Juice. Juice is your community-owned provider for electric, internet, cable TV, and true local programming.